Hi everybody, welcome back to this practical example part 3 for the Python object-oriented programming tutorial. In the part 1 we have created a class that connect and handle the request with the browser, which is my book server and also my web server. And in the part 2 we got the data from the browser, from the form, and we made the request for the API to the Google API book, and we could put everything in the UpdateHTML where we have seen how we converted the API data to an object. So in the part 3 and the final part, what we need to do is from the book data, we need to get all this HTML and insert it here. So the first step that we need to do is using this my book here, or the object, to create the HTML. And actually I cheated a little bit. I have already added, because it will take a lot of time to just type this HTML, and I can explain it. So what we are going to do is creating a div here where we are going to insert the title, the page count, and also here the author str, and also the self description. But something here looks not correct. Okay, that looks legit. Okay, and after that we are going to insert this HTML in our code. So first of all, let's quickly, instead of printing here my book only as the data method, we are going to put the HTML one. So let's put the book HTML and see what would happen. So let's run this code and see what will be the result. So Python and then the number with, and let's run again here the browser. And let's make a research. Let's put STM32, for example. And if we run, so you can see here, we do have a div created for the summary pack. And after that, we do have the title and the page count and also the author, which is perfect. So we do have a big list of HTML that has been created and ready to be inserted within the code. So about the code itself, or the HTML itself. So let's go here to the HTML and take another look. So we do have this book here. So let me close this one, make it smaller, so you can see where we need to target this code. So you see in the summary here, this is the part where we need to insert. So this is an empty one right now, and what we need to do is to insert our code between our generated HTML code between this two, like this div. And to do so, we are going to create a static method that will look for, in our basic HTML that we have created, look for this one, and after that insert all the data here. So let's go back, let's close this, and let's go and create this HTML, or the update HTML function. So it will be a function here that we call it a static method, and let's go here and make it as a static method, so because that will not, something is not connected probably with the server job, and we call it update HTML, for example, or update text, because it will be updating text. And what we need, so we do have originally initially the original text, and after that the insert location, or the text that we are targeting, so the where we need to insert. So let's say the target, for example, target insert text, and finally the text that we need to add. So let's call it the add on text. Okay, perfect. So first of all, let's see how this static method will be working. We need to get how long is this text is long. So we need, first of all, if we go to the HTML, we need to go here and check, because we are going to check for all this. So we need to check for all this. So we need to check where it is, and this is, we are going to use the font location, but we need to check how long it is, because we need to add it just after that. Okay, so let's go here back. So let's take the word length, for example, or len, and that will be equal to just len of target text here. And after that, we will find the insert position. So the insert position will be equal. So the insert pos will be equal to the original text. Original text. Find here that will be an integer and the target text. So we need to find this target text, and we include then the length of the word. So by using this one, the program will be looking for this place where this is starting and will be adding the length here. So the insert position will be exactly here. After that, to insert the new text, so we call it the updated text or the new text here, new text like this one, will be equal the original text like this, and that original text will be starting, if we put here the dot, so we'll be starting from the 0 and then the insert position like this here. And after that, what we are going to add is our add-on text. So this is the text that we need to add, or the new HTML that we have generated. And after that, just after that, we are going to add the original text again, like this. And instead of the insert position, that will be here. So we, from the insert position to the end. And this should generate the HTML that we need with a new updated HTML. So let's go back and return the new text. Okay, fantastic. So let's quickly then go back to UpdateHTML. And what we are going to do then is to create here an HTML or a new HTML, and that will be an empty string. Okay, and what we need to do then is each time we create an object, we will take this new HTML and add, so plus equal the HTML generated by the object. So each object will be generating a certain HTML. Okay, so this looks promising, and at the end, let's print the new HTML just to see what's going on and if everything is generated well. So let's save here and clean a little bit the console, CLS, and run it again. So let's go just refresh and then put some STM32, for example. Okay, so what do we do have here? So we do have a page count issue. Let's check. So this is working, and the print HTML is not actually what's going on. So programming, this one is correct. I think I didn't save it. So let's Control S, go back again, and I run the wrong file. That's why I run the file from the previous tutorial. So let's go back here and put 11 and yeah, run it again. Okay, resend. Okay, so we do have all our HTML generated for the books that we got from the Google API. So now that we do have this new HTML, we can use the function we created here, the self-update text. So we can do self.updated updated text, and based on this one, so updated text, we need to put the original text that we have, and this original text is the HTML itself. It's all this HTML. So we just need to add HTML, and after that, what we are looking for, the sentence that we are looking for in the HTML here that we need to catch, and that will be the div summary here. So let's bring it here. And finally, the text that we need to add and we want to add will be this one. I forgot. I have to put this one between parentheses, between brackets, not the normal brackets actually, so I need to move and put one, only one, and after that we add the updated new HTML. Okay, and we call this one final HTML, hopefully HTML equal. Okay, and let's return it now. Return the final HTML. Okay, no, final, not final only, but final HTML. Okay, not final. Oh God. Okay, so now here, instead of doing this do get only, what we can do, so here let's get our final HTML. Final HTML will be equal to what this updated HTML will come here. And instead we remove the do get, and what we need to have now is a different function, or that we can add. So we need to add a response, and this is we have seen in the part 1. And here we are not going to bring just the normal HTML, but we are going to bring the final HTML. Okay, Control V. Okay, so let's clean again. So CLS, and let's run the code, hopefully the right one. Okay, perfect. And we are, let's refresh, make some research for Python, and we should expect seeing the list of the books, so the title, the page count, the author, and also the description. So now, just by creating this one, we do have the list of all the material that we need, and this is fantastic. So let's just run again. Okay, so now we do have a 440, so that works perfectly. So what we can do, so now we have a list and everything. Let's change a little bit the name. Let's see, STM32. Okay, so we do have books with the name STM32. That's fantastic. However, we can do some small improvement just to see, for example, what type of research we have done, just to be sure that our research, or we type the right word. So what we can do is go back a little bit to this final HTML, play with it a little bit more, just to have an updated data on this one. So what we can add on this final HTML is inputting this time, instead of HTML, we are going to modify our final HTML, and we will go looking for not the summary, but the search item. So we will go looking for the search item. Where is this? Here, search item here, and we will be adding a small sentence, something simple and easy to help us to understand that, kind of like if we add the search for a book name like this. Let's put F here and the book name, and what we can add is this one like this. Okay, that looks okay. It seems there's an issue here. Book name, there's okay, what does it say? String is literal is the end of time. Okay, what we can do, let's remove this. Because I didn't close my string, that's why. Okay, so let's save this, Control C, and run the code again, refresh it. Let's say Thinking Fast as a book, and we do have search for the book named Thinking plus Fast, and we do have this book Thinking Fast and Slow and Thinking Fast and Slow, and that's quite a very good book that I would advise to read. So now we do have a little bit more information that helps us. Then finally, just to improve our response from the server perspective or the program, let's clear a little bit what's happened in the post perspective. So before we start even looking for giving the response, let's have a quick check before even we create the HTML, let's do something important. We check if the dict form, this one, so we put if this dict form dot, and we are looking for this one, this a title here. So if this one is empty, if it's equal to nothing, what we need to do is better just to put a self dot, and we do the do get. So if there is no data inside the form, we just go back to the initial one. Else here, so if we do have data, then we can start updating our HTML. And even within this one, we should add a small try. Like we can try all this. So because sometimes something wrong may happen. So we can try this one. And as an exception, so here, this is a way to better handling if something goes wrong within our program. So we put exception as E. We can print E, okay? But also what we can do is create a small error message. So we can have an updated HTML or final HTML and create a small change. So we can go to this one here and take this, just this same thing, so here, and we can call it just error HTML or error response, so def as a new method, so HTML or response error. Let's call it response error like this, and here we are going to get only self, and then what we need to do, just like this one, and we are going to return the final HTML. So return final HTML. Just a moment. Final HTML. Okay, something is, yeah, final with a small letter at the beginning. And here we are inserting here about, we can say something went wrong. Just to have the information went, just a moment, went wrong. Like this. And actually what we can add the error here, and something went wrong, and we can put the error like this. So we can have this new HTML. So we get here again, so we go back and we can get the final HTML that will be equal to a self dot HTML error. Where is it? So let's bring it, response error, this one, response error, and we pass the error here. And finally, we set the response and we add the final HTML. So what will happen if there is an error happening somewhere here and we can't even do this operation? We don't have the server jamming, but we will receive an error and saying that something is wrong. So let's try to do it now. Let's try to generate an error. So we run it again. So let's run this one and let's add some strange gibberish that maybe, okay, something went wrong. Okay, so local variable final first before assignment. Okay, probably here, just a moment. Yeah, this one should be not final HTML, but should be HTML. Okay, let's close, rerun again. Okay, do it and put a lot of good gibberish here. Send it. Something went wrong with the item or what we inputted here. So we do have a very generic message that doesn't help, but this is the way where you can have something correct. And if I click here, okay, something resend. Okay, let's recheck it again. So on this, if this is empty and this is what did happen, let's try to find it. Okay, that works again. So you just have to click again. But you see, we could handle the error. And this is how you do have a whole code where you can look for a book. Like if I go for STM32, I do have a list of books. If you go for, let's try view. No, there's no view. And if there is a Python, for example, you can get all the book available regarding Python. So that was a tutorial that will help you to understand how to use the object-oriented programming for Python and also to play a little bit with the server. I hope that all of you have enjoyed this, and if you want to support us, just give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episodes.